This is what the Sony FX30's onboard microphone sounds like. And this is what the FX30 sounds like with the Sony ECM-B1M microphone. It's its 8 microphone array that sits atop what looks like a kind of a funky shotgun assembly and plugs into the hot shoe mount of the FX30. The best part about this microphone is that it doesn't contain any wires, any batteries, nothing. You just plug it in, it auto levels itself, and away you go. Can't really ask for anything easier. And as you can tell, it sounds really, really good. My room here in the studio is pretty well treated. I've got carpeted floors and I've got some sound paneling on the ceiling, but it still has a little bit of reverb. But all in all, this is a really good microphone, and it sounds infinitely better than the Sony FX30. The microphone itself has been reviewed so many times. As a matter of fact, one of the reasons why I settled on this microphone versus something like the Rode VideoMic NTG or the VideoMic Go or any of the other shotgun mics that you could plug in is because it didn't require battery, no cables, and it's pure digital all the way through. And after viewing so many reviews, this microphone seemed to have the best frequency response out of all the Sony digital microphones that exist. So why did I buy this? I'm a live streamer, I do tutorials. Well, for these exact reasons. Maybe I'm not sitting in front of my microphone, right? Maybe my teleprompter is back there, but what if I want to change angles? Well, I've got really good audio quality right here. Also, when I go out and I do interviews or I'm just trying to pick up some B-roll with some audio to accompany whatever video I'm making for my channel, it's a great microphone to have. The mic itself lists for $350. It's like, ouch, 350 bucks. So about 2 weeks ago, I was on eBay and I found this microphone. This is a refurb microphone. It's $150. And knowing the quality of this microphone, I couldn't pass it up. The technology itself it's not 32-bit. It's actually 16-bit. It's 48 kilohertz. So it's not anything super fancy, but as you can tell, it sounds really good. And that's all you really need. Everything's digital until you're playing it through the speakers, which is awesome. It's not going to an analog wire, and then that analog wire is going back into a camera, which, by the way, could be, as many of you know, could be susceptible to kind of interference or any kind of static because the connection is not super solid. If you're using a Macintosh, chances are you just want things to work. This just works. So let's get into it. And the audio that I'm recording right now, we'll bring it into Final Cut and I'll show you what I'm doing with it. Okay, so here we are in Final Cut Pro, just looking at the clip that I played for you. And you can see right here, I've got the clip. I'm going to play the audio again. And the audio that I'm recording right now, we'll bring it into Final Cut and I'll show you what I'm doing with it. Really, all I want to do is go select the clip that I want to edit the audio in using the ECM-B1M. Go into the tab that is the audio for that clip in Final Cut, and then turn on voice isolation. And what that does is it gets rid of a lot of the reverb. Depending upon how much you dial in, you're going to get different results. For instance, this is at 50%, which is the default. Let's get into it. And the audio that I'm recording right now, we'll bring it into Final Cut and I'll show you what I'm doing with it. Now let's go to 100%. Let's get into it. And the audio that I'm recording right now, we'll bring it into Final Cut and I'll show you what I'm doing with it. So that's with 100%. So you can futz around with this number and it's going to help get rid of some of the airiness of the recording if you are recording in areas where there's a lot of reverb due to reflective hard surfaces. That's just a quick, simple fix. It's not perfect, and sometimes what you might want to do is look at running it through some audio filters. It's really up to you, and you're gonna have to play around with this. Okay, so here we are back in the teleprompter and with my normal studio background. So I'm on this microphone now, which is the RE20. I have a video about the RE20 in my library here. Feel free to take a look at it. It clearly sounds really nice. It's a dynamic microphone, so it does great at sound isolation. So here's the B1M again. And, you know, it's really tiny. It looks like a handle that can sit atop pretty much any of your Sony cameras that support this. Don't handle it that way. It's because, first of all, the connection point is just the hot shoe part right here. So when you're getting one, make sure that you, when you're not using it, just take it off. It does come with, and it did come with this, it's a small little cap. There are some electronic contacts that are at the bottom of the microphone. You want to make sure that those are protected, because those get bent up, then this microphone is dead. Along the back side of the microphone, which you can see here, these are the items that allow you to control very specific functions on the microphone. So, for instance, digital analog, and then you immediately to the right of that, you've got your pickup patterns, whether it's going to be a narrow pattern, a slightly wider pattern, or omni. And then below your digital analog switch is a filter for what's called low cut. So it'll roll off the lower frequencies. You won't pick those up as well. You might have noticed that my voice was a little boomy when I was talking on the camera. That was on purpose. I wanted you to see what it sounded like. And then the final switch is for noise cancellation. So this does have built-in noise cancellation. I have yet to try it. My experience with microphone-based noise canceling settings is that they work well in extreme situations. My guess is that the noise cancellation is good, but not good enough to where you don't sound a little bit robotic. Immediately to the right of that is attenuation. Now, I had this set as 0 dB. There's also a minus 10 dB and a minus 20. So let's say you're in a really noisy environment and you want to bring down the pickup. This works especially well if you're in an omnidirectional pickup pattern and you want to reduce that noise that's coming in. If you set that to minus 20 and you turn on noise canceling, you're pretty much going to get what's really close to the microphone. And in those cases, you probably want something like that. And then finally, the levels. The dial immediately at the lower left-hand corner, that only works as if your audio level is set to manual. That is the way to adjust it. So far, I've left mine set at auto and it works just fine. So I just leave that alone. Again, it's something else you have to manage. And if you don't, I mean, the Video Mic NTG, Video Mic Go, they all have the audio level settings. And it's like, you don't want to have to mess with that stuff. Of course, you should always have headphones on when you're working with these microphones and make sure, A, you're not picking up any nasty static or anything like that. The mic is working. That's also a confirmation. And then are your settings working? Is it generating the audio levels that you find acceptable? So having some good, I have some Shure headphones here that I can bring on the road with me. And these cover my ears nicely. Even these big old things, it covers them nicely, and it keeps me from having to hear outside sounds. I only hear what the microphone picks up. The microphone itself it's an extension of the built-in camera mic. So it's going to work well when you're using it in situations where you're interviewing people, when you're vlogging, when you need to pick up some ambient audio. Perfect for that stuff. It's generally not good if you're in a large open space and the room is not sound treated, or the subject that you're trying to pick up is too far away. You can't defy physics in terms of audio. What you hear in a given situation, like if you're bird watching, I don't know, or something like that. That bird's way out there. It's 50 yards away, 50 meters away. And you are trying to pick up that bird's like really fine detailed sounds, you're going to hear about through your own ears about what the microphone's going to hear. You can't bend physics to make this microphone do things. It's going to, especially if you're in an area where there's hard surfaces and there's a lot of echo or reverb. If it's like a gym, you're going to pick up the crowd noise very easily. You're not going to hear individual players. They have to be mic'd up individually. You know, as far as suggestions go, when this mic first came out, there weren't a lot of options. There's far more options now. The only other thing that I would say that is probably going to influence your choice is price. Like I said, the Rode, if you're going to spend this much money for a microphone, even if you can get it at a discount like I did on eBay, the closest candidate that I think would even come close would be the Video Mic NTG from Rode. And I've played with that one. I wish I had it now to do a side-by-side on it, but that's for a creator, for somebody who, like yourself, who's either a creator or live streamer, you know, that might become an option for you if you don't have a Sony camera or you don't have the ability to utilize the technology that's available in the newer cameras. Let's say you have an older camera, for instance. The other thing is with the Rode Video Mic, generally speaking, anything that you want to change on those microphones has to be done in the software, which is fine, but you have to configure it before you go somewhere. Meaning if you need to make changes and when I'm saying changes, the audio processing that's built into the mics, there's certain features that you can enable or disable on the microphone itself, but then there's other ones that need to be tweaked inside software that gets essentially downloaded to temporary memory on the microphone, and then you use it in that configuration until you make changes again. Finally, as a live streamer, now, I've got this microphone here, but you heard me at the beginning of the video. You could just not use this. You could use the ECM-B1M on your camera, assuming that you're close enough to the camera. You could use that, and it would work quite well. As you said, like Ecamm, for instance, when you send it down to Ecamm, you can have this guy picking up your audio for your Ecamm stream. I'm just saying that as a live streamer and somebody who may own a Sony camera, a recent Sony camera, that's the microphone to get by far. So hope you enjoyed this. If you have any comments or questions, leave them down below. Please hit like and subscribe. I know that always helps out whatever efforts I put. I'm doing this all for essentially free, and it helps out the channel. And there's also some links to the microphone down below, and I have a couple other channel links, so you can go look at those reviews. So thanks a lot, and I will see you in the next one.